Branding and marketing is an essential part of doing business. And one of the craft that you want to learn and learn fast in your business startup phase is the art of the sale. Today, we're going to be covering some broad talking points. We will help you to understand branding, we will help you to understand marketing, and we will definitely spend some time to help you to understand the art of the sale. Now, just before we get into today's program, I want to say this. There are many rising stars in business that start their business and they have I would want to say, a falsified notion that organically, and we need to specify and define what is organic growth, is perhaps the only thing that they know they need to use to grow and scale their business. And I want to say this: the first phase of growth in business is to get through that know, like, and trust. And from experience, what we have seen is that many rising stars in business, you could be stuck in this growth phase, never getting through the know, like, and trust factor. You can be stuck here for months and possibly years. Why? Because you should always have what we call budgetary allocation that's going to help you through this specific growth phase. Because if you're not known, if you're not liked, if you're not trusted, the consuming public don't have enough motive to want to buy from you. So to get the program moving, I'm going to give you some quick hacks that you need to consider to break through that know, like, and trust factor. Step one, you can invest in becoming an influencer. Why? Because an influencer is known, an influencer is liked, and an influencer is trusted. So you can do the heavy lifting here and position yourself to become an influencer. That will help you to break through that know, like, and trust factor. Perhaps that can be organic growth. The next step or recommendation would be to appoint or partner with other influencers that can endorse your brand. And because the fact that they are known by thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, or perhaps millions of people, they're able to get you through that growth phase earlier. So, just food for thoughts to help you to fast track the growth of your business. And there you had some arts and science of leveraging sales processes. Now, with that being said, I'm not doing this alone. I have a dynamic team of personalities here with me. I have an economist, and his name is Frank Clement Frank. He's an economist and a leader, a certified leader. We also have Peter Guscott, and Peter Guscott, he is the brain behind Legacy Chronicle Human Growth Initiative. And I also have Paul Whitehouse, and Paul Whitehouse, he's an expert in helping you to access the much needed capital to grow and scale your business. Now, as we said, welcome, guys. I want to welcome all you guys. How are you guys?
Morning, Gary.
Awesome.
Morning. We're
Awesome.
awesome.
It's always a pleasure having you guys here. I see, Frank is all, covered up from the elements.
The office is cold.
I know, it's okay. That's why I see you covered up from the elements. All right. Today we're going to be having a pretty interesting conversation. We're going to be looking at branding and marketing and the art of the sale. Sales is what every rising star in business needs, and you need to start making the sale perhaps even before you open door, you start a business, because cash flow optimization is so vital for the success of every business. But just before we get into the meat of the conversation, I want to start with Paul. Paul provide capital, and every business also need capital. So I want businesses across the world who are listening to us, businesses across the 50 states in the U.S. who are listening to us to know that, hey, you can access capital by tapping into our community. So Paul, can you talk to us a little bit about the financial instruments that you have available for businesses in the U.S.?
Sure. Thank you, Gary. Financial instruments. Well, that would be equipment financing, and that the instrument would be equipment leasing. Leasing is how the biggest companies in the world obtain ownership of equipment, and I mean, it's because it's the best way. If it was not, then they would not, right? So, what are the advantages? You get tax advantages. It's much less money down to go on an equipment lease. Ease of approval, and and well, you don't have to spend your money. You don't have to lay out all cash. So, equipment leasing, best way for ownership. We got you covered there. Excellent credit, difficult credit, everything in between can be approved. Real estate financing, commercial and investment properties, same scenario, outstanding credit, lowest cost of money, ease of approval, best term, best deal structure. Difficult credit, don't worry. If you've been declined in the past, give us a call. Your bank says no because they have a strict structure, they cannot step outside of it. Our lenders are creative and they literally have to get the money off the shelves. That's how they make money, is by lending money. So no going into it that they actually want to give it to you. A couple of other things would be factoring, purchase order financing. One's for cash flow. The other is if you have a large order that you cannot fulfill, well, a PO financing company will set you up with that type of an arrangement. And essentially, they will step in behind you, pay for the whole order, whatever you're shipping to Walmart, 1 million pairs of shoes. They'll pay for the shoes to be manufactured, transported to the buyer. Buyer pays the invoice. They get paid back. You get paid. And PO financing makes a deal possible when it might not have been possible otherwise. Uh, as well, Securities and Exchange Commission compliant capital raises. If somebody's raising money for you, make sure you ask them if the process is SEC compliant and if they're licensed. If they're not, you chose the wrong person. And those are questions you should have asked. So through partners, I'm not licensed, but I'm a scout for two guys who have been in business for, well, since the 80s. But in 17 years with their current group, they've raised over $9 billion for growth capital and startups. I can introduce you to them. So, I think I've covered almost everything. We've got A to Z covered as far as business financing. And get a hold of us. Paul at patriotbfc.com. Direct message, email Gary. His email is going to come up in a little bit. Set an appointment with us, and we want to get it done for you.
All right, thanks for that share, Paul. Now, access to capital is vital for the success of every business. Well, one of the things that we have seen, you could access capital and that business is still not set to be successful because there are many other moving parts that that business would need to consider. And that's why we are hosting today's program, Branding and Marketing, the Art of the Sale. So before coming to Frank, just let me try to clarify a couple of things here. What is a brand? A brand may be how you want to be identified in the market. For example, you might want to be identified as a supplier or provider of premium products and services. Or you might want to be identified as an individual who is providing complementary or supplementary brand. You need to figure this out very early in the game and perhaps long before you actually start your business journey. So there's a first phase that we call building the brand, and then there's a second phase that we call marketing. Now, why is marketing so important in this whole equation? Because marketing looks at a broad range of issues. It may begin with market research. And why the market research is so important? Because the market research is what we do to identify the ideal client. The more you identify or know about the ideal client, you are better able to innovate products and services. You are better able to reach the expectations of the ideal client, and you're better positioned to achieve your sales outcome. So I'm going to be brief on this part. So there you had some ideas about what is branding and what is marketing. Of course, marketing goes very deep. Today we're doing a high level. But before passing over to Frank, there's a couple of things that I want to just put out as we talk about sales strategy. And one of the things that we have seen is that many sales leaders across the world, they take the sting out of the sales efforts. And why do I say this? There's a concept that we call the push factors of sales and the pull factors of sales. Now, the push factors of sales is when you might be deploying techniques like cold calling or direct sale. But in most cases, when you are deploying cold calling and direct sales, you are interfacing with a potential client that you have absolutely no idea of. You haven't spent the time to deploy any marketing techniques so as to gather market intelligence about who's the ideal client, what are some of their specific needs, and to be able to deploy psychographic techniques into the art of your sale. So you're just shooting in the blank and hoping that you get impulse buyers. Now, we have been seeing from our research that when you deploy this sales strategy, it significantly undermines your ability to convert the sale because the consumer has to go through a phase before that purchasing decision is done. And in most cases, when you just go and make that hard sale, that push sale, you sound too salesy, you sound too pushy. And there's a lot, there's a lot out there about this type of salesperson. What we have done, we have developed a unique platform where if even you're using the push sale factors, the push sale factors of sales should be based on data. But I'm going to pause on that point for now. What we talk a lot about is, and encourage a lot, is what we call the pull sale factors. And why are we recommending the pull sales factor? Because as a sales expert applying the art of the sale, when you're deploying these techniques, you first of all take the time to research your ideal client. You then innovate products and services to reach their expectations. And then you focus your time now on creating visibility, reach, and impact for that target market. You see, again, as I said at the beginning of this program, the more you understand about the ideal client and the more you innovate based on that understanding, it makes it easier to accomplish the sale. I'm going to pause here for now, but I'm going to expand on this as we go deeper into today's program. So I'm going to pass to Frank. Frank, I would love to have your take on some of what was said. You may want to add to it, or you may want to bring it from a different perspective. All to you.
All right. I like the topic on the art of sale and the branding. What I want the takeaway to be is that sales is an art. The creative use your basic with tact. And there are 3 P's in all of this sales, art of sales. You must have passion, you must have persuasion, and personalization, because these are required in any sales setting. And the third thing is that anyone can be good at sales, including you. Everyone has an innate ability to sell, and we have done it at least once in our lifetime. You think right from convincing a friend to join for an outing to convincing a client to buy a product or service. We are all have experienced sales at different levels. Thus, sales is an activity that we engage to push our product or service to the consumer. And it is a free flowing art that requires creativity and tact. Sales is an activity that is part of promoting and selling any good or service. And the best part about sales is that it gives you the freedom of expression. It's among the few professions where you can be yourself and have the essence of expressing it in your creative way. I would say that sales is like an adventure with a new chase every day that keeps you going. And it feels satisfying when your client owns your product or your service. And as I said before, the three P's of sales will always lead to a win-win situation for the buyer as well as the seller. And these are essential qualities you require to adhere to for the art of sales: passion, persuasion, personalization. You have to have passion for what you do, since that is what drives you every day. Passion is what nobody can stop you from feeling. Work as a fun activity. You need to be passionate about your products, about your services, the clients, and about selling. Persuasion will refer to actively listening and understanding the customer's needs and wants, which are finely tweaked and matched according to what your product or service has to offer. Personalization is about customizing consumer requirements. This is an essential part of a modern day selling. It forms a strong differentiating factor from the competitor. Selling anything is an amazing and fun job with tremendous opportunities for growth and advancements. But there are myths about sales, and they're widely held, but they are just false beliefs or ideas. And the most common sales myths are: extroverts are the best salesperson. The most important trait of being a salesperson is helping, which starts from listening thoroughly to the client, underlying the challenge, our challenges, and then solve their problem. You need another myth is that you need the experience to sell anything. You see, building connections and networking is a great way to sell anything, supposedly. But there are various outlets like blogs, YouTube, Google, the whole gamut that allow you to dive into and learn about the sales world. Another myth is using a script makes you sound like a robot. And this is quite a common misconception about sales. What usually makes you sound like a robot is insufficient preparation, which causes nervousness and prohibits you from listening to the customer. In reality, sales personnel are usually the most consistent and structured in their customer facing conversations. Another myth is salesperson are the first people to be fired in case of any loss. The most undeniable fact is that sales is the only department that generates revenue for the company. So in case of any loss, a company will ideally not cut down on their source of income. Let us not deny the fundamental truth that great salespeople, great athletes, great entrepreneurs simply do the basic things very well. There's no shortcut around the basics. The sooner you get rid of the illusion, the sooner you can reach the heights through creatively using the basics. And I have some unique ideas that can help you justify the art of selling. The first one is make original contact professionally. Every day we meet people, so many people in different social situations in a non-business setting. The key here is refining your skills during those initial contact to be remembered until they meet you next time. and which hopefully will be a selling situation. You need to sell yourself first. You are your greatest asset. So you need to put your time, effort, and money into training, into grooming, encouraging your greatest assets. And then you'll be able to crack any deal. Be the person who you would buy something from in terms of presentation, in terms of look, in terms of tone, etc. If the customer doesn't like you, he or she will not buy from you. So make sure you know your product and yourself well. You can do a SWOT analysis of yourself and tweak your strengths, tweak your opportunities in your favor while selling. Create a FOMO factor. FOMO is fear of missing out. Create that on something exciting is human nature. So when you develop a sense of missing out, it always leads the audience with a psychological trigger of being left out, and thus we want to be part of that community or service. You need to have a lose-win guarantee. The 30-day money back return policy is dead. If the product doesn't work, it shows that you have lied to them, or people just use a product for more time and return before they end it. The risk elimination is enough. A lose-win guarantee seems to be at a higher risk initially, even for Domino's. Delivered within 30 minutes, or it's free. But because the product delivers what it says, out of curiosity, people will experience it once. Then there's a storytelling approach, which I like to do. Because storytelling for me is the most powerful tool. And the power comes from how the story is communicated. It's a human psyche to understand and perceive things in a story format for better retention. Apply the classical conditioning is another point. You can form an association with a product or service with a particular feeling or response in a call to action. Provide the customers with a solution to their problem, which makes their life easier with an added association to it. Can make the client revert to you, since associations are strong sources for reinforcement. The next point is prospect. What motivates the other side? People will never care what you're selling unless your product or service is adding to their value or making their work hassle-free. So you need to pay attention to what's driving your potential client to take your meeting in the first place and address that in your pitch. You must have an active presence of mind, because having an active presence of mind is always at most important, since the nature of the job is client facing. The clients pay attention, and that's what the salesperson does. They pay attention to the needs of the client from the start, and then they present the pitch accordingly. You can quickly note the client requirements if it's feasible, so that you get a clear picture of what you need to say next. And then keep it simple. We sometimes unknowingly overcomplicate our pitch or the message because we want to sound more knowledgeable. The true mark of knowledge is how well you can explain to the average person or any layman. The key here is to think about the person you're selling to. The ear of the heart sell is fading now. Modern day sales emphasize building relationships that will develop a level of trust between a buyer and a seller. An effective salesperson can understand the needs of the buyer and create a persuasive message to create a differentiation between the company's product or service. And the only sales mantra to believe is learn more, earn more. can take this down, that anyone can learn to be good at sales, including you.
Yep. All right. Thanks for that share. That was an in-depth analysis. You always feel as though you're in the classroom, right? Thanks for that share, Frank. I'm going to come now to Peter, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the pull factors of sale, what makes it work, and then I will also look at a new initiative that we have started that we call the GIP initiative, which is the Global Influencers Partners Program. It's a program that's designed to, help you build out visibility on a platform that has over 2 billion potential consumers. So I'll share that with you shortly. All to you, Peter. You're mute.
There I go.
You're mute, Peter.
There. Okay, there. Are we there now? Hear me now? All right, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm
It's
hearing
always
you.
right. Thank you, Gary, and it's always a delight to be here to learn. It's not being here. It's not just about disseminating information, but for me, there's a lot to learn when I come here as well. And we just want to welcome our listening audience or viewing audience wherever you are viewing from across the globe. But what I would like to contribute to our listeners today is, as we're talking about branding and marketing, the art of the sale, the art of the sale. One of the things that I learned earlier on was that I should not go into business to make money. And when I learned this at the first time, I was deep into pursuing or developing our business processes. And when I heard that, it was quite startling at first. But then when I heard the reason behind it, it made a lot of sense. And if individuals are going into the marketplace, yes, your goal is to make a sale. Your goal is to make money, indeed, to make money. If you're not making money in the marketplace, then you do not have a business. But the focus should not be on the money. If you want to build a lasting business, then you go into business because you have a solution. That's a more meaningful way by which you can be able to solve a lot of problems. When you go into the marketplace, solving problems, looking for the problems. And so we have in our area of the Human Growth Master Plan program is that we have 50 questions that will transform your life, where we try to ask questions because we want to get down to 3 points that we need an individual to understand about themselves as you're designing, because the objective is that you're developing your master plan. And we emphasize this over and over when we're communicating to the individuals that are interfacing with us. You need to have a plan. So you're not just randomly trying to go out there. There is an art, and an art is not chaotic. There is a discipline that has to be done. So you have to have a plan. So these questions that we ask, the 50 questions that we ask individual, is to arrive at 3 basic components. And Frank spoke a while ago about his 3 Ps. We have a 3P program as well that we try to elevate for individuals to understand what it is that they're seeking to accomplish in the marketplace, to build out their marketing and their branding, to streamline their process as they're trying to make that sale. And it is to understand our 3 Ps is your purpose, your passion, and your pain. Going into the marketplace, what is your purpose, what is your passion, and what is your pain? So what is your calling? Every individual in the marketplace, every brand, every product that has done well in the marketplace, they serve those who do well. It is because they serve a major purpose. They're able to last for decades and do well in the marketplace because they are serving a purpose. The product, the company is serving a purpose, a particular purpose in people's lives, in the greater platforms within the market. So you have to ask yourself, what is your purpose? What is it that you were born to do? Because every great business is not just a business entity, but it is something that was birthed out of the entrepreneur's life. And what is birthed out of his life is an extension of who he or she is. So you got to ask yourself that question, especially for a person who is viewing this broadcast and you want to move out of, break the ceiling that is above your head and you want to do something that is more impactful. Then you start with that question: what is your purpose? What is it that you were born to do? Because we try also to get individuals to understand that the reason why there's so many problems in the world is because a lot of problems is not being solved. So what is your problem that you were born to solve? What is the solution to one of those major problems in the marketplace? Which when you're beginning for you to understand and to define your purpose, that is why now their passion now. We get individuals to understand their passion, because what is it that your passion? Finding purpose can be so broad, because there are so many things out there. But then now, what does it mean to you? All those issues, the problems that are in the marketplace, there are so many. But what does it mean to you? So now, what is your passion? To discover your purpose, now you ask, what is your passion? What is it that drives you? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that calls you? What is it that you love? What is it that you enjoy? What is it that is worth fighting for? There are some issues in the marketplace that cause you to be angry. When you hear these things, it just causes you, burn that fire inside of you, and you're wondering, why don't somebody solve that problem? Well, because perhaps it's not theirs to solve, perhaps it is yours to solve. So when you begin to understand what is your passion, then it can also take into to another area where individuals can look to develop what they're going to sell or how they're going to enter the marketplace, and or what your branding is. What will you be known for? What will you be known for? And your market is that component that you're going to bring to the marketplace. So now another place that individuals can look. So we talk about their purpose, your passion, and then we can now look into your pain, because here is the source of the greatest driver that individuals can have impact in their lives. And what have you overcome in your life? When you think about basketball and we think about Michael Jordan, what drives Michael Jordan is when somebody look at him and tell him that you can't play basketball. You'll never be anything where basketball is concerned. That was the source of his pain. And he made the decision that I'm going to prove them wrong. So what is it there that you have overcome in your personal life? The difficulty, the challenges, the defeats, the obstacles. What is it that has caused you so much pain in your life that it almost broke you? As a matter of fact, it might have even broken you, but you decided that you were going to strive and get over that. Chances are there are multiple people in the marketplace who are struggling with that same defeat. They are still struggling, and they're hoping and they're wishing and they're praying that somebody will help them, that God will send somebody to them to help them to overcome that pain that they are fighting as well. And when you approach it that way, now you need to do certain, as Gary would always talk about, the research and the data. What is the data? What is the data saying? So when you can find something that fits in these 3 P's, your purpose, your passion, and your pain, then go test the market to see if you can find some real persons out there that are experiencing those conditions that you're mentioning. So you go and test the market with that. And as you do the research, what you will find is that you might be just the person that is going to alleviate some of the crises that is in our marketplace. And at the end of the day, you are celebrated because now it's not just about the money, but you are producing something that is really, touching lives, transforming lives, and they love you now. And now you have a movement because you are able to touch the very deep core of what people are dealing with in the marketplace.
All right, then, Peter. Purpose, passion, and pain, and a lot to digest. But thanks for that share. I do believe, as a rising star in business, understanding the pull factors of sale can be a tremendous advantage to you. Now, let me say this very quickly. The art of the sale is to have a strong brand that is stress tested. The art of the sale is to have a strong brand that is stress tested. And what do I mean by having a strong brand that is stress tested? You see, you don't want to start selling a product or a service and it hasn't been stress tested, because what we have seen happen very often is that many persons embark on a sales effort only to recognize that the ideal client is not the right client. And let me just go through what a stress test would look like. You first of all have to identify the ideal client. And in identifying the ideal client, you have a clear idea as to what those specific needs that they have. You second have to be able to identify if you're able now to access the ideal client. Because the fact that many persons are not taking enough time to identify the ideal client, you just don't know how to access. There are many persons that have very good products and services, but then you don't know enough about the access points of the ideal client. So you're not able to position your sales efforts in front of the ideal client. And Peter Wright, when he said that data analytics is so important to influencing your sales outcome. The third step that I want to propose here is to identify the client viability. Now, one of the things that you want to be able to do also is to look at the market to see how viable the market is. The last thing that you want is to innovate a product or a service and to be selling in a market that is not viable. And this is why I said earlier, sometimes you find that salespeople, you take the sting out of the sales effort because you don't have the data. The data is what allows you to put that sting into your sales effort. Moving forward, the art of the sale is to put yourself in the position of strength to understand if you're going to be reaching an urgency or immediacy. Again, with data, you can actually predetermine whether your products or services is going to reach an immediate need or an urgent need, because urgency and immediacy is going to tell you if the ideal client is going to spend now. But if you don't know that, perhaps they might spend 6 months or a year down the line, and that's undermining your sales effort. But you don't know that because you don't have data. The art of the sale is to put yourself in a position of strength to identify if the ideal client has the ability and the willingness to pay for your products. So there's a range of things that you would need to stress test in this context that I call the art of the sale. And there's a couple of quick things that I want to add. Rising to the occasion to master what we call the pull factors of sale is where you're going to literally position yourself to be an influencer. And I'm happy to say this. We have designed a very unique program that we call the GIP Initiative, GIPP, and what it stands for, Global Influencer Partners Program. And this is how I want you to think about this program. You will be trained and given the support to become an influencer that can position your products and service, your brand in front of over 2 billion people. But here is where you will be able on this platform to attract people to your brand. People come to you with monies in their hands to pay for your products and services because you're well positioned as an influencer. We will talk to you on this program about the importance of understanding your ideal client. We will talk to you about the importance of having a strong brand. We will talk to you about the importance of having good communication skills and so much more. And understanding these techniques is really going to position you to achieve greatness in your sales outcome. Now, I must say this: we have been applying these techniques, and it's really exciting to know that you don't have to go hard sell. Because of the pull factors of sale, we have built out an ecosystem where people continuously see value, and they're continuous because of their seeing value, they're able to make an assessment of what they're listening to, what they're hearing, and based on that, they are reaching out to you. And to me, there's no greater sale than to be able to apply the pull factors of sale where you can influence people even in your absence. So I'm going to pause here for now. Paul, I want to come to you. I know you have been there for some time. I would love to hear your take. I know you have been in sales for quite some time. You have been in the auto sale industry, you have been into real estate, and now you're selling money. All right. Or a business finance consultant. Can you talk to us a bit in terms of what it actually takes to become a great salesperson?
Yeah. Well, it takes learning a system. There's 12 steps to the sale. There's 4 steps to the sale. I got 8. So meet and greet. You have to become an expert at this to be able to do this all the time. But every time you do it, it's going to be different. These steps can come in different. They won't come in order. They'll come in different orders. You have to be able to adapt to that. But the first one is meet and greet. If it's in person, that you walk up, smile, shake their hand, be nice, be normal. Try to be normal. If it's on the phone or internet sales or Zoom meetings, it's the same thing, in my opinion, as in person. Next one is common ground. You want to establish common ground because, as we often say, they have to know, like, and trust you. Can they get to know, like, and trust you very quickly? It happens all the time. So the answer to that is yes. How does that happen? Be nice, be yourself, be informative, be willing to listen more than you talk. Okay. Demonstrate, well, discover wants and needs. What are they looking for? What problem are we trying to solve here? Then a demonstration. If it's a physical product, you demonstrate the product. That's called a demo. If it's a service, you got to talk your way through it. There's nothing to physically point at, but put on a good demonstration, a thorough demonstration, and make sure you are solving their problem. You're showing them the right product. You're not trying to put them into something that you want them to be in. You want to put them what they want to be in. But if that, but if what they want is not going to solve that problem and you can clearly see it, don't be afraid to point that out. It's an open discussion. They want to hear your input. Okay. Trial close. I don't do this anymore, but this is a car sales thing, a trial close. What do you think so far? Do you like this well enough? Does this solve your problems? Little small things that you say along the way make a big difference. Uh, you know, words are power, and little things you say, good, bad, right, or wrong, can send the sale out the door, or it can close it immediately with one word. Present the numbers, present the math. What are we talking about here? How much is it going to cost me? Make it make sense. After you do that, trust me, there will always be negotiation. Sometimes not, but most of the time. So to negotiate, learn to negotiate, learn to say no, learn to say, this is why I am saying no. I guess an easy example, somebody's trying to buy a car and they want $8,000 off and it's a $20,000 car. Does that make sense? There's not that much profit in this car. No, no, you can't have that. And here's why you can't have it, because there's an $1,800 markup in the car. That's all we're going to make. How can I give you 8,000 off if it's only marked up $1,800? So, and in my opinion, without sales, everything is for nothing. So what I'm talking about right here with the steps to the sale, that's important. You have to have a sales team that is professional and capable of closing deals every day. You have to, because without sales, you got nothing. Negotiation, very important. Learn to say no. Learn to say yes as well. Close the deal. That's coming at the same time as negotiating. You're asking for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale, you're probably not going to get it. Is this something does this solve your problems? Do we got the right product? Would you like to buy this? Well, can we get this accomplished for you? So you got to close the deal, and then you got to follow up so that they want to buy from you, the salesperson specifically, because he makes money that way, and buy from the company. You want your salespeople to have excellent follow-up skills because you're keeping the customers you already have. They already learned to love, know, like, trust, and let's add another one, love, put a little heart in there. I don't do this ever, but I just did it for this purpose. They know, like, trust, and then love you. They need to love your product. They need to love the service that you personally provided to them in order to return. And if you don't have clients returning, it's all for nothing. It will all be for nothing. So, in my opinion on the subject that we're talking about today, sales, I want to push back on just a little bit what you said. I don't know. I think the marketing and branding is what builds the pipeline for the salespeople, but the true cutting edge is the salespeople who are there making it happen, closing the deals, and ringing the cash register. Ring the cash register, because if that's not ringing, there's going to be problems real quick. So your sales team makes that happen for you.
All right. Thanks for your share, Paul.
Yeah.
You're pushing back on me or Frank?
Oh, you.
I didn't get you clear.
Pushing on you, Gary. No, I'm not pushing heavy. I agree with what you said. I was just saying it's I would never push back on Frank. Are you silly? Yeah, just how you're saying it's the marketing. Yeah, but what you were talking about, in my opinion, that builds the pipeline to the sales department. Then the sales effort is literally in the hands of that individual salesperson.
No, but I don't think we have a disagreement. What I did establish is that branding is branding, but there's always an argument. What comes before? Is it branding or is it marketing? And you have to pause a bit to really dissect the whole ecosystem.
Mhm.
Right.
Because marketing is not just advertising. Marketing is research. All right, and what is research? Research is collecting sensitive data, analyzing sensitive data, leveraging sensitive data. And when we talk about leveraging sensitive data, we're talking now about leveraging the sensitive data into the branding process. So you find that marketing influence the brand, and the brand also influence marketing. So these things go hand. There's some people that just start a brand, but the correct way in starting a brand is to have the intelligence, and that intelligence only comes from marketing.
I agree.
So marketing is a broad ecosystem,
Mhm.
and sales is also just an element within marketing. Sales is an element. But what we have done here also in today's program, we look at two areas of sales. We look at the sales that is us, we call the push, where you train your salespeople to just go out and sell. And we look at also the sales effort that is more pull. The pull factors of sales is not the hard sell effort, but the pull factors of sales is where you and your team, you take the time, you understand people, their needs, wants, and expectations. And then from there, what you do, you use different platforms to get your message out. So instead of you going hard to collect to make that sale, you're using platforms where you're building your personal brand. And because you're building your personal brand, they're now able to relate to you. They're now like you and trust you and accord to you, love you. And because you're able to achieve all of this as an influencer, you're attracting them to you instead of you going after them. But what I'm saying is that the sales strategy, there are multiple sales strategy. And to me, what makes sales strategy important is to see sales in terms of art. Art is the method of approach that you're going to be using to achieve an end results, and to also see it in terms of science. And science is where you're able to get predictable outcome, perhaps with the highest degree of accuracy. And according to what I would have said is that a lot of sales professional or so-called sales professional, they are not deploying what I call the art or the science of the sales process, which is based now on understanding people before you actually make that sale. You're not selling just because you're trained to sell, but you're selling because you know people have a need, and you know that you have the ability to reach those needs, those wants, those expectations. And it's this knowledge that really influences a better sales outcome to be more sustainable. You might be able to make a one-time sale, but if you're selling to someone and your products or services are matching their needs, you're going to make a one-time sale. But what we're talking about here is making continuous sales. And the more you know about that client, the pain points, is the more you're going to be able to make that continuous sale. So I don't think we have a conflict.
No. My only pushback was I believe that marketing and branding are separate from sales. I don't
They
even
are
think,
separate. They
Yeah.
are separate,
that's
but they
what
can't work without. But they can't work without each other.
correct.
Right.
No
You know,
question.
The way how I
Marketing,
look at
branding.
it is,
Go ahead, Peter.
yeah, I was saying the way how I look at it is the difference between a street fighter and a person who has learned boxing or karate. You know, the person has, developed his craft, his skills, his approach. He has done the research. He knows how to analyze his opponent. And at the end of the day, he's the one left standing. So in the process of marketing, branding, and sales, it is the combination of that class act of an individual taking all the components together, as Gary is saying, the marketing, discovering what is the needs in the marketplace, and know how you're going to transcribe that into a package which now becomes the packaging the needs of people into the brand that the person represents. And then the sale now, as Paul, you're saying, you're going to have those based upon what you the work that is done, the data that you have found out, and how you have packaged the solution. We're going to have that final few words that the person is going to walk away feeling satisfied, and you walk away feeling satisfied that you have served those purpose. So over the years, what I've learned is just what both of you are saying, actually, and as we're saying it, there's no competition. I used to work in the marketing department, and there was strong
But
competition between the
yeah,
sales
but
and the
let me also
marketing
say
team.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me also put this out there very quickly, Peter.
Mhm.
Brandon is blind without marketing. Brandon
Mhm.
is blind without marketing. Why do I say that? A brand is being built for an ideal client. But
Mhm.
who's the ideal client and how do you know the ideal client? Unless you have
Right.
intelligence to influence that. And that intelligence only comes from the market research.
But
You
the
might want to
sales,
say,
Mhm.
huh?
the only thing I was making was the sales process is completely separate. The branding and marketing, in my opinion, I don't see sales mixed in there at all. The branding and
No,
marketing builds the pipeline that brings them to the door, makes them want to walk in and deal with you. But the sales process, the sales professional takes over from there. And the push pull factor, even it exists in marketing and branding, but it also exists in the individual salesperson. That salesperson can push somebody away with their actions and their attitude, or they can bring them in close for a big hug and a bunch of love with the right attitude and the right tech techniques, strategy, and tactics for salespeople.
all right. We're gonna have this conversation further, but I want to also say that sales is only an element in marketing. Sales is a part of marketing. It's only one element in marketing. And as we talk about sales, and I understand what you're saying because there are some sales folks they don't sell based on data. They don't sell based on substance. Their objective is just to make that sale because they have commission to get.
Mhm.
All right, and I'm saying that that happens in the majority of cases. There are
Mhm.
persons going to say buy because this is the potential gain, but they're using what we might want to call deceptive tactics. And the reason I'm want to host this platform is because we stand against what we call the hard sale, which could be deceptive. You just want to make that sale because you want to cash flow optimize. And we believe that when you make the sales from that standpoint, you take in the real art and the real science out of sales. But sales is just an element of the marketing ecosystem. It
Yeah,
focuses on a specific thing. Frank, all to you, my friend. We give you a lot to chew on there now.
I know. Plenty to chew on. Um, but we're talking here about, uh, at the end of it all, the art and the science of sales or brand, even brand marketing. Um, when we talk about marketing, we talk about sales. Branding is an important aspect. As we sit and we think about sales, whether it's in sports shoes, soft drinks, luxury cars, watches, even a coffee shop, what brands come to your mind as you think of those products? If you are aware of the global brands, you can correlate sports shoes with Adidas, Nike, Puma. Of course, soft drink will go with Coca-Cola or Pepsi or even Red Bull. And when you think of luxury cars, you think about the Rolls Royce, you think of the Mercedes Benz or Jaguar. And for watches, Rolex, coffee shop, Starbucks. The list go on and on. But how did your mind recall these specific brands? It's because of daily association and brand perception. You may use Pepsi, you may use Adidas and Starbucks regularly. So you associate with it instantly. But what about Rolls, Rolls Royce? What about Rolex? And not everyone uses those premium brands on an everyday basis. Now think about this. What comes to your mind when you see or hear the following lines? Finger licking good. Just do it. I'm loving it. Think different. The best a man can get. You related these sentences with KFC, Nike, McDonald's, Apple, and Gillette, right? This is where brand marketing plays a crucial role in driving top of the mind brand recall and perception, because it has the potential to influence buyer behavior by creating a strong emotional connection with its target audience. Most brands have dedicated teams whose primary responsibility is to boost brand value, in addition to instilling the utility of products in people's minds. They drive campaigns to create a strong, ineffable feeling, a feeling experienced by the consumers when they view and hear about the brand. So there's a magic of brand marketing. It differentiates your offerings from other potential players, and it helps you build loyalty with the consumers. It attracts, it expands your audience, it increases the perceived value of your products, it supports new product launches, reinforces your brand message, and adapts to market trends for long-term business growth. It can do much more based on how you want to position your brand. Let's look at the M2P brand marketing, which is well defined with a clear strategy for promoting and positioning the brand wherever possible. That team ensures whatever you hear, whatever you see, and your experience from the M2P has a unique and consistent tone, which is reflecting the brand's values, visions, and ideology. If you're skimming through the website and social media page, you will see finesse and consistency in the content, in the design, in the voice, in the tone. Everything sounds like it has come out from a person. And at M2P brand, marketing is rooted in internal departmental collaboration and synergy, from content to user experience to design. The team exudes brand values, product perception, social media presence, and the culture championed by the founders. You see, marketers, designers, and content writers work in unison on internal and external brand campaigns. And they do that in an effort to tug your heartstrings and communicate with your emotional leverage. They ensure that brand personality, brand values, and positioning are reflective inclusively with and consistently in every creation. You can experience this kind of mind-blowing synergy in the fintech festivals, where you visualize a global event with hundreds of stalls installed by hundreds of industry peers, and all the stalls have equal exposure to the audience and time to showcase their products. Visitors who include the clients, the partners, the regulators, the prospects, and end consumers, they just have a few seconds to decide which stall to visit. So if they have not heard about the brand, attracting them to the stall will be next to impossible. However, some brands outperform others significantly in terms of footfall. How did we attract viewers? How do we attract the viewers? From the stall's location to the colors, the font, other design aspects, we incorporate a psychological and marketing strategy in designing the stall. As a subconscious mind makes decision in a fraction of a second, you can find a way to tap into it rather than relying on the conscious mind. To put simply, we leverage the power of the subconscious mind. The result, monumental. footfalls exploded, leads pour in, and the mileage that the M2P produces was beyond anything. And if you want an insightful read into that, refer to um, this author Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. Where he's saying the dual process theory and the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind was actionable and helped materialize marketing ideas for M2P. And so, why is it that they're so thoughtful in marketing efforts? You may ask. What they do is they personify a brand as a human being, like how a person has an identity, or values, goals, and aspirations. I just like how the major system of the body collaboratively maintain homeostasis and ensure overall health and functioning. They believe all departments at M2P give life to their brand. They have a catalyst for scaling product. You see, a product is not just a product to the consumer. Apart from utility, people prefer a product because the values imbued with it. It is about trust, credibility, reliability. Of course, it is inevitable for any organization to have quality products in the first place. But for the products to reach a consumer's heart and develop a sense of trust, brand marketing is inevitable. I've been using on and off Apple product for about 5 years. And so I'm using the iOS ecosystem for work and professional purpose. I'm satisfied because the Mac products keep me productive and fulfill my objectives. So when I need an electronic gadget, assuming that Apple has produced it, I consciously and subconsciously will incline toward Apple. So my last thoughts here is that building innovative products that solve consumer problems can be interesting, but how do you let the consumers know that you are making their lives easy? Social media is an effective channel for any brand to market their product. So if you want to know more about how branding market leverage social media, stay tuned with us. We will have the professionals who will help you through it so that your business will make the lives of a consumer or your consumers easier. Over to you, Gary.
All right. Thanks for that share, Frank. That was very insightful. And I guess we have to do more of these content because, building a brand is so important. And as we go into issues relating to branding, people have used so many strategies in branding to distinguish their operation. One of the things I could recall during studies is that there's a concept that we call price inflation. Let us suppose that you want the brand to have a certain perception. You want to appeal to premium clients. How do you leverage price strategies to establish that? But in marketing, they have been using, let us suppose that you start a nightclub, but you want it to be exclusive. So you either have to have a membership card or the cost of entry is $500. Immediately, that tells you that a certain group of people, you're not selling to them. So there's so much of strategies that goes into it. There's so much of techniques. And what I want to add here is that we haven't even started to scratch the surface here in terms of branding and marketing and the art of the sale. We haven't even started to scratch the surface. But I just want to repeat that branding is blind without marketing. because marketing is like the eyes and ears, nose and mouth of branding. Because you don't want to innovate a brand in isolation of who the brand is being innovated for. And the only way in getting that information is if you are collecting the sensitive data, analyzing sensitive data, responding to sensitive data, and possibly setting yourself up to mitigate that. And we have 11 books out there right now, so I want to encourage you to go to one of the, I'm going to put up a link now, which is Habits and Money. You can go to this link and you will see that we have 11 books on Master the Art of the Sale that will really help you to get more clearer on what branding is, what marketing is, what sales is, and how these things should come together as one perfect union to help you to attain your sales objective. All right, with the interest of time, I'm going to come to Peter, and I'm going to ask for your comment and closing remarks, and then I'm going to come back to Paul. I'm going to ask him to talk to us a little bit more about financial instruments, and perhaps before you can chime into the conversation, and then you can perhaps close out on the financial instruments that you have available. Peter, all to you.
Yes, so what we'd like to just what I love in our program as we communicate with our clients, as we speak about the personal life, the four dimensions of human growth program. We want people to understand that it is important for them to have a personal life master plan, and all of this that we're talking about, branding and marketing, the art of sales. As you enter into the marketplace as an individual, whether you're a professional, whether you are just there is no accolades or no degree to your name. You are selling yourself. You are, and it's that might sound very commercial when we say that way, but the fact is that we are placed on the planet to impact lives. If it is just your children, as a mother or as a father who has a responsibility for a son or for a daughter, whatever it is, if you're a pastor with your congregation, whatever it is that you are doing, you are here to create impact. The question is, how effective are you in getting the job done? There is an art to what you do. There is an art, and as Gary mentioned, there is a science to how you take your communication and distribute your message in order for an individual to make a decision based upon what you have distributed to them. And how you do that, there is a great deal of intentionality that has to be put into what it is that you're going to do. So we encourage individuals to have a plan. You can't accomplish anything, any great enterprise. What you see is the end result of years of hard work and research. And then they finally have a design, a plan in how they were going to interface with their market, with their end users. So the question we're saying, or what we're encouraging individuals to do, is to have a plan. Write a plan, document something, write something. Take your personal life into focus and write a personal life master plan, a personal life master plan that will have impact on your family, your immediate circle, what it is that you want to achieve, your brand. How do you want your family, your children to be seen in the marketplace when they leave you to go to school? What are they representing? How are they representing even themselves and representing your name? Your name is a brand. Whatever your last name is, it is a brand. And what are people saying about you and your kids? What are they saying about you? So your personal life master plan will yield your family life master plan. And then you are a part of a community. So as you are utilizing your own skills and your abilities to impact or just to live and to live intentionally, and you are bringing that intentionality to your children, and you are extending that in interfacing and interconnecting with a broader audience of individuals, then you are going to have to know, talk about how are you going to, what kind of intentionality that you want to have at a community level. How do you want to see your small nick of the hood? How do you want it to see that? Your small enterprise that you're a part of, your small community of extended friends and associates. How do you want that to improve? What can you do to uplift those who are indirectly related to you? That design that requires a plan. So you do need a personal life master plan. You do need a family life master plan. And yes, you do need a community master plan, which by extension will now create, as you are building out these processes, there are a body of agreement that will be designed, and it will now take you into your corporate agreement, those things that you have agreed. This is the end result that we would like to have. You will have a corporate life master plan. The end of the day is that we're all just passing through life. There is a day when we will not be here. How do we want to be remembered? What do you want people to be saying about you when you are gone? So you have to have intentionality about it. So design your personal life, your family life, your community, and your corporate master plan. And at the end of the day, you can go in the box feeling satisfied that you have made your mark. You have made your brand on society. Thank you, Gary.
All right, thanks for that share, Peter. Paul, the man of the moment, can you chime into the conversation, and perhaps you can also then talk to us finance again, access to capital.
Sure. I'll make it quick and simple. Equipment financing, if you need it, we got it. Don't spend your cash. Real estate financing, same thing. Difficult credit, don't worry about it. You are approved. Let us worry about that. And cash flow. If cash flow is slow, we're going to set up factoring for your business. If you got a large order that you can't fill and you really don't want to say no to it, we're going to set you up with purchase order financing. If the problem is very difficult, we're going to spend time talking with you. Let's get creative and find ways to solve your problems. That's what we do at Patriot Business Finance Consultants, and alongside Global Capital Incorporated. So email me, paul@patriotbfc.com. Direct message Gary, email Gary, set an appointment with us. And my closing remarks from the subject today is sales are important. Can't stress that enough. If you don't have sales, you got nothing. And if you have a sales team that's working at half speed, then you've got less. What if you have a sales team that's performing at 100%, going 200 miles an hour, making it happen, doing all the right steps, then your revenue can double. I mean, you can go from X amount per year to X at, I'm not going to say triple it, to multiply it times much. So
10x, 10x.
Yeah, exactly. Sales, increased sales is increased cash flow. It's increased bottom line at the end of the year. Every sale is important. If somebody walks out the door, you lost. So don't let that happen. Use a professional sales team, market data, knowledge, research, information, effort, and train your sales team. That's highly important.
Well, I agree with that. You need a strong sales team to help you with the visibility to reach the impact, the client conversion. They can also help play a role in building the confidence, trust, and credibility. But you definitely need a strong sales force. Frank, your thoughts and your closing remarks?
As Kidnapper, one's lifeline to long-term success is answering the question, how do you scale a business? To achieve this, it is more to create business advantages that can cultivate clients for life. Work toward discovering your competitive edge and truly understand the power of anticipation to get the guidance you need. And this is where mentorship and experience comes into play. So you look toward people you admire. One of the things that we're here for is to offer that mentorship help and give you offer our experiences in our various professional space on how you can get this business to scale, how to go about getting the best brand, how to market, to understand the art of sale, and so on. And so, if you align yourself with us, we'll help you to learn some key factors that can make or break your business, and how you can use them to scale your business and move the needle towards sustainable success. Always listen, always learn.
All right,
Over
thanks
to
for that share. Thanks for that share, Frank. Early on, you would have heard me talking about the GIP initiative. I just want to give some insight and some more insight into this program, and more will be coming soon. What is the GIP initiative? GIPP. Well, this program stands for Global Influencers Partners Program. Now, there are 8 important takeaways for you to get from this program. 1, you will be taught how to master the fastest way to cash flow your business. Now, we have started this initiative because we see many businesses get started, but then you struggle to cash flow. We have built out an international ecosystem where we partner with international partners that has tremendous global reach. And our team can help you to monetize your personal or your corporate brand on these platforms in a short period of time, meaning about 2 months. And we're talking, you can be positioned to earn massive amount of US dollars. So we will talk to you about ways in which you could master the fastest way to cash flow your business. As a business startup, you want to cash flow, and you want to cash flow fast. We'll talk to you about that. We will also be talking to you about mastering the real cost of doing business. There are many rising stars in business. You get into business underestimating the cost for human, technical, and capital resource needs. We will also talk to you about this, so you truly understand the cost of doing business. We will also talk to you about mastering your MVO and the business analytics. If you're getting into business and you don't have a strong MVO, meaning your minimum viable offer, you're not doing the business analytics, you can fail. The GIP initiative will also expose you to concepts like building and mastering your personal brand. You need to have a personal brand, and we will talk to you about how to build that, how to become an influencer that can make impact globally. We'll talk to you about building and mastering your corporate brand. Your corporate brand is separate from your personal brand, but on this platform, you will be educated on how to make all of this happen. We will also go deep into how to become a global influencer across multiple platforms, because being an influencer, as I said at the beginning of this program, it can really help you to break the barriers of the know, like, and trust, and bring you to that point where you can cash flow faster. The GIP initiative will also teach you about mastering your TOPAC. What is your TPOC? Your TPOC means targeted performance outcome. Are you clear about your targeted performance outcome? We will go deep into that to ensure that as you take steps to position yourself for success, you have clear targets and you know exactly how to attain them. And there's so much more that we're going to be teaching you on this platform, but I want to encourage you that this is going to be a transformational experience for you. because this platform will truly enable you to learn how to significantly convert or optimize the cash flow of your business. And we are certain that we can help you to 10x, 20x, and perhaps 100x the growth of your business. So welcome to the GIP initiative. And as time progresses, you'll be learning so much more about it. I want to thank the audience who have been viewing this program from across the world. I want to thank my team for coming out here and support the platform. I know Frank is, he's at work, but then he's always here supporting the initiative. Kudos to you, my friend. We have Peter. Peter could be doing anything else, but he's always here to give information about the personal life master plan, family life master plan, community and corporate life master plan. Is helping you to build your brand. And we also have Paul. Paul has been in multiple businesses, but he has decided to commit his time here to really provide information to you rising stars in business to really help you to understand how you can access capital with greater ease. So this is just part of our community. We're here to serve. I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here today. And we'll do this again tomorrow. And how the term go, Paul? Let's get ready to
Rumble!
okay. All right. Let's get ready to